everybody has a place in fitness except V-Shred. Fuck that guy.
Welcome to In Moderation,
the show where we give you a moderate dose of info, sarcasm, and we already know we're not approved.
Welcome to episode 4069 123. Liam's got me lost now.
It's episode 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. I think I still remember the lost numbers. I got into that show so hard. After season 2, it's really all downhill, but like the first 2 seasons are solid.
Yeah, I was heartbroken after what happened on Lost.
Yeah, apparently they only had like 2 or 3 seasons.
I'm lost on this conversation.
You're lost on Lost. I get it. And they had like 2 or 3 seasons planned, and then the network's like, it's doing really well. We need 7, and they were like, we don't have material for that. And they're like, too bad. It's making money, so they had to make 7 seasons, and it was kind of a shit show after that. But first 2 seasons, phenomenal. Love them.
Yeah, see, is the exact opposite of what happened to Firefly.
Yeah,
my heart goes for Firefly.
People tell me that.
You haven't seen it?
Because I hate getting into a show that's only 1 season and then it's over and I'm sad and I don't want to set myself up for failure.
They at least got to make the movie.
Yeah, go to the movie. Like, go in with the expectation that it's gonna break your heart and you'll be just fine. It's worth it. It's space.
Such
I don't
a
like
good
that.
show.
That makes me feel sad already. Now I'm sad, and I haven't even watched it yet.
It's space cowboys who speak Chinese. It's fucking perfect.
But that's the
I
problem,
can't believe it got canceled. It was such a good show.
It was awesome.
Anyway, speaking of shows, we need to get into things, but first you should probably introduce yourself, Scotty.
We got the man, the myth, the mustache.
The mustache.
Thank you, guys.
The thumbnail for this episode is just going to be his mustache. Nothing
just
else.
The mustache.
Just the mustache.
I'm good with that. I'm down.
So, yeah, guys, thanks for having me on. I'm Scotty. Man, I am just some asshole with a cell phone in a kitchen and who got kind of bored and figured out that I can yell at people about counting their calories, and it resonates with some people. And
sounds like Liam.
Yeah, just start yelling about something and you'll find your audience. Yeah,
and I think that's what happened is I found my way to fitness the wrong way for a long time. And I finally kind of stumbled into where I belong, and I want to help people get to where they belong in fitness, because everybody has a place in fitness except V-Shred. Fuck that guy.
I was
starting off strong with the V-Shred hate. I like it.
And people were like, what's wrong with V-Shred? I'm like, oh, you don't even want to get people like us started on that. We'll rant for too long.
I Googled his real name, and I went through for probably an hour scrolling images of Vince Sant until I found all of the photos that could be seen in a negative light, because he has scrubbed the internet of them. I have them screenshotted in a file in my phone for thumbnails.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that is dedication.
Yeah, but yeah, about me, if I can, I am a full-time firefighter. I'm currently in paramedic school full-time. I am a father as well. I have 4 daughters.
I can't. I have 1, and I'm struggling. Like 4's. Go ahead.
It's crazy. I've also got cats. We had 3. 1 went missing, so we got another one. And then my wife got a raccoon. Because she works with wildlife conservations and rescues, and then ended up that cat came home just before I hopped on the call. So we now have 4 cats and a raccoon.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm also a combat veteran. I spent 11 years in the Army. I former law enforcement and EMT as well, advocate for autism, and a huge supporter of people with eating disorders, LGBTQ plus. Everybody's included. Yeah.
Everybody's welcome here.
Everybody's welcome here. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to you a little bit before. It just seemed like you were just jumping from thing to thing, and then eventually you're like, social media sounds like a fucking trip. Why not go for that?
Yeah. My therapist will tell you that I enjoy spinning plates, is what she calls it. Professional juggler at this point. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. I was telling Rob that I've gone from 700 followers to many more in a very short period of time, and it's like a fever dream. I'm absolutely elated and kind of floored by the amount of attention and positivity that's come from it. It's been
That your stash has got.
Listen.
Specifically the mustache.
Yeah, I got tagged in your video 800 times one day. Like I woke up there, it's like okay, and I could tell right off the bat. I was like, oh, this is gonna work on social media. This is gonna work extremely well. I can tell. Yeah. So for anybody who hasn't watched Scott's videos, obviously go do it. But like, it's just this great mixture of here's some educational like make this recipe sort of thing, and also like what the fuck did I just watch, which is everyone's favorite thing because it's kind of makes you sit there and kind of question just like what is going on. And I definitely trying to add a little bit of that into my videos, just say something offhandedly and people go, what are you talking about? And all the comments become about that. It's great. So like he'll be like cooking and then he'll just be like up on his fridge, just like sitting there lying down on the floor or just anywhere else, or just something's flying, like anything that makes you go, huh, what? And that really, I think, cracks the social media game. You need to start off with something that maybe has absolutely nothing to do with the recipe. It doesn't matter. And then just jump right into it. It's fantastic.
I found my opening is if it's going to be a food video where I'm recreating some type of recipe, I want to find something that's similar to it, not as a call out, but with the cookie video, right? Like I went to Crumble Cookie. I was trespassed from Crumble Cookie today for counting all of their fucking calories.
Like, and I don't really want to get into like so much of like the social media cracking it, but that's already perfect. When you say like trespassed, like what is people already like, what the hell does that? I mean, I guess I know what that means, but that's such a weird way. Oh, and then Crumble, and then what is this now? And now you're throwing something, boom, already like hooked in. It's great. And then just having little pieces of that throughout the video, it keeps people's attention. It really does.
Doing a deadlift in the kitchen. Yeah. Perfect.
Just throwing that shirt off, like why not? Like fuck it, whatever. I'm, just do some wild shit.
I'm do the Hulk Hogan style with the ripping it apart.
Well, I can't. These shirts are very expensive. I don't.
Well, give it a couple more months. You'll be making as much TikTok money as you need.
Yeah, and then maybe.
For anyone who's watched your videos, they know you have just an absurd amount of Fallout gear, and that's also like another great thing. People see that they like the game; it's a popular game. You're like, oh yes, I'm totally in on this. So here's the most important thing of everything we're talking about. So listen, 4 is good. Fallout 4 is good, but New Vegas just has this great storyline in it that I just thoroughly, and you've got like Caesar's Legion and like, or Kaiser, I guess they call them, it's just, you got this, I feel enveloped in the game. Where 4, some of it just felt so underwhelming, like the Underground Railroad. I felt like there could have been more things there. I just feel 100%. A little, there was just like better graphics, 100%. So if you're getting into it for the first time, play 4, but try go back and play 3.
So
and you always got to do the 1 intellect run on the original Fallouts.
I've never played 1 or 2. I've never even attempted.
Play them with 1 intellect. Your conversations are literally like,
Yeah, it's awesome. My favorite.
Try that.
My favorite is 4 because that's what I started on, but only for the graphics. I am well aware that New Vegas is a better storyline. So if you can play it and modify it to where it has better graphics, that's mint. My favorite thing about Fallout 1, however, now that Rob's brought it up, is the TARDIS popping up in Fallout 1. That was awesome. It's there. And as you approach it, it does the TARDIS noise and it fucks off west. It's awesome. It's like my favorite Easter egg.
Oh man, yeah, Fallout's just a great game. If you haven't played it, what are you doing? Check it out.
Yes,
finish listening to this podcast first.
Yeah,
we need the listens.
All right, but I guess we could go on to like stuff we actually do and food things and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, you were talking about how like you kind of started off on the wrong side of things and slowly kind of made your way more towards a healthier situation. So tell us a little bit about that, like at the beginning.
So I'm from the middle of America, which is just notoriously undereducated. And I was a 20 something year old, kid. I didn't know what a calorie was, and much less a macro. And I was gaining weight. I wasn't working out. I didn't know anything about the fitness world at all. It led to an incredible bout of depression, and I wanted to lose the weight. I wanted to feel good about who I was. I felt like I had this person inside of me that I should be, but I didn't know how to do it. And so I realized after a very, very long stint of just a lot of fucking mistakes, what I tell a lot of people is the catalyst that started my decision-making processes to change was I would wake up in the middle of the night on a specific circumstance where I was so hungry that my body woke up. And I was starving myself. And it was 3:00 in the morning. I went downstairs of my home.
So like when you started that, I'm guess just to kind of like fill in, like, I just want to see, like, so you were just like, I'm just going to eat less. And that's kind of what led to that. You were just like, did you have a plan at all? Or was it just?
So I got online and I looked up, fitness advice, how to lose weight.
And you found
V-Shred.
And that's how I found V-Shred, right?
Yep.
And so V-Shred's dumbass gets on my screen and he's like, I've got a pizza and I've got a salad. Which one do you think I need?
Video.
Oh, and so like I did the whole thing, man. I jumped through his hoops and I paid the dollars and I took his somatotype test. And
great, yes,
God, it's on site. So I did all of that, and then in the videos he gives you, it's like move more, eat less, drink lemon water,
all the classic stuff,
all
green
the
tea
stuff.
extracts, all that stuff.
Yeah,
but did he go for coffee enemas?
I don't think V-Shred's ever gotten on the coffee enemas yet.
Not yet. Shoving a Americana up your ass.
He's not that desperate, but give it time. So yeah,
give it time.
So you were just kind of like, you were just like, I'm just going to eat less food. Like, is that kind of the secondary plan?
And so I would eat less, and then of course that led to what I know now is the hunger hormones just spiking in the middle of the night, and I would get so hungry. In this specific scenario, I went downstairs to my kitchen and I cooked in the middle of the night, and I made chili dogs, right? And I ate 18 chili dogs. To
with
make,
the bun, or with just like
with the bun to make things
just
worse.
Checking. Just making sure.
I got sick after number 12 and went back for more, and then I. At again, this is 4:00 in the morning now. I went on a run. I was like, "Oh, I'm bad now."
You hit that. Thing. Oh, I fucked up. Let me fix it.
Yeah.
And so I went on a run. And when running at a stark 300 pounds, I was in pain the whole time. And so I would run and run and run until I got sick again, and then I didn't eat for a few more days. And that's when I realized, oh, I have a problem. So I started trying to find people that I could trust in the fitness world. And then I became a police officer, which was wild because I was overweight. I went from cable guy to cop. And
so first you were in the army, and then you went, and after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
a little bit all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, my therapist would tell you that I chase trauma. I've been on my own since I was 14 years old. So I've had a lot of jobs.
Right.
I can tell you chase trauma just because you went on social media.
Fair. Yeah. I'm a glutton for punishment. So yeah, I became a police officer, and then I was that fat cop. Right.
Okay.
And so there's guys in the departments that are in great shape, and I try to take advice from them. But again, I still didn't know what a calorie was. And so I'm going to the gym for 3 hours at a time. I'm breaking my body down. I'm trying to sprint miles. And then I'm going to Whataburger and having 1.5 pounds worth of cheeseburgers and then going home. And so I was just doing so much damage to my body. And then eventually I came across Greg Doucette and Will Tennyson.
Oh, right. I think we all find at that time where you'd find Greg screaming at you.
Yeah. You got to train harder than last time. And so, a lot of that stuff resonated with me. And then I left law enforcement and I moved down to Texas, and I'm losing weight at this point. Something is working. Right. And then I started taking fat burners. Right. I got caught up on that trend. And
so you were still losing weight, even though you were like kind of your diet was still kind of, let's say, a little hectic.
Yeah. And that's what I tell a lot of people is you can do the wrong shit for a long time and still get some progress. Right.
Yeah.
And when people ask me, how long did it take you to lose that weight? It took me a long time because I did it wrong. You know, it took me 7 years. You can still do it in, you know, a shorter amount of time if you do it the right way. And it'll still take you a long fucking time. It's not going to take you 7 years though. And so when I was in Texas, I became a bounty hunter. And so I'm in a little bit better shape at this point. I can run a mile in like 12 minutes. I'm doing okay. And then I got poached to go to Afghanistan as a private military contractor. And so I'm like, okay, that sounds like great money. What do I need to do that? And they have expectations for your fitness levels. And so for obvious reasons. And so I trained so hard to make that happen. I downloaded an app called Zombies Run, which plays
yes.
Oh, yeah.
That got me running. Right. And so I'm running miles every single day. And then I'm eating. Then, of course, Greg Doucette's like, lower your fat content. Right. Eat your fucking carbs. And so I'm starting to implement these things. I still haven't weighed out my food and all these things. So I do that. I start losing the weight and I get on contract to go to Afghanistan. And you have to go through a training kind of train up program for that. And I barely made weight. I mean, barely, because they went off of BMI and I barely made it. And so I get on contract, but I'm the fat guy on contract. Right. And so I'm like 260 and we end up mobilizing. We get through Fort Bliss. We get through Kuwait. We go into Kabul and I couldn't do a pull-up, you know? And so,
I mean, at 260, you know, that's a lot of weight to be carrying. Yeah, that's still a good amount of weight to be carrying around.
But now I'm surrounded by these freaking operators, man. These guys are smart and they're tough. They're working out 5 days a week. They're eating 4 meals a day and they're jacked, right? And so I'm like, I want to be like these guys.
So you start asking them, you start trying to get some advice from them.
Yeah, 100%. And these are team guys. So they're like, yeah, man, we've got you. And so I had a lot of great friends that gave me a lot of amazing advice and helped me with my food choices. I had one guy who was in the hooch next to mine that every time it was time for a meal, he'd come and like slap me awake and be like, let's go eat. And then I'd go to reach for something and
that's
he'd slap my hand. Oh, he was great. He was great. And it was really funny because I would I did this thing where if we had a couple of days off, because I was a contractor, I did this thing where I call it time travel. I would take like 4 sleeping pills and see how long I can like zonk. And my roommate would come in and he'd shake me awake like, Scotty, you're going to miss your meals. You need to get your protein in. And so these guys taught me, hey, these are some of the healthier habits.
Take sleeping pills in moderation.
They were like, hey, man, every food, everything you ingest has calories. These calories are made of macronutrients. And one of them tried to break it down for me. And I started keeping a log while I was in Afghanistan of my food. Every day I would just write down, like I had 4 spring rolls with, you know, tilapia or whatever. And didn't have a food scale, didn't really have access to those types of things over there. And so when I came home from Afghanistan, it was at the height of COVID. It just hit right when I got off the plane practically. Yeah. And so I took a job as an armed security officer in a local hospital. And
wait. Armed security officer in a hospital.
Yeah, there's a few Americanisms in here that I think you might need to explain this to the Canadian.
So in a metropolitan area, big city, most of the hospitals that have an emergency department have on-site security personnel. And so I didn't have like a vest on or whatever, but I did have the gun and the taser and all the, you know.
You had a gun and a taser in a hospital.
Oh, and it was well warranted. You know, there's more than one hospital in our city that has armed guards, and more than one of them have had shootings. And it's America, violently American. And so, I mean, I took that job, and I liked that job. I really did. because the hours were good, the pay was fantastic, and so I stayed at that job until I became a full-time father by myself. And so once that happened, I had to switch jobs. But during that time, I had a gym membership at the gym that was connected to the hospital. And there was this guy there who was built like a fucking silverback gorilla, right? And this guy was scary looking, and I'm just some a-hole that's working out in an oversized t-shirt. And again, Greg Doucette, Will Tennyson, I'm falling down the rabbit hole. I'm trying everything these guys are talking about. And so this guy Jake, he comes up to me, and he was like, "Hey, we need to talk." And I was like,
"Oh God,
okay,
this is gonna go great."
Okay, man, what's up? And he was like, he just stared at me for a second, and I swear to God, he's like, "Be here tomorrow at 2:00." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, all right." And I thought he was going to murder me because it turned out
I got into a fight on the playground.
Right. I found out after that conversation that his fiance worked at the front desk, and I had flirted with her once, and I was like, he's gonna kill me. Yeah. So I showed up. I showed up the next day at 2:00, and he tossed me some weight straps, some lifting straps, and he was like, "Let's get a workout in." And I was like, "Awesome, man." And we were gym partners for a year, and he taught me so much. He was so strong. And I asked him pretty early on, I was like, "Jake, man, what do you do for work?" He's like, "Oh, I'm an IT." I was like,
I always love that. It's always great.
Fuck for no reason. Like, you're just typing like a motherfucker, huh?
I've broken 7 keyboards that you're having to replace them.
Right. And so, but at that time I was like, all right, now I'm getting a grasp on these things. I started meal prepping. And I still struggled at that point in my journey with binge eating. And I would be on the wagon for the longest time, and I would feel the progress. And then I would make a mistake. I would do something that did not get me closer to my goals. And being a full-time single dad was really hard as well. And so I left that job, I left that gym, and I moved to a suburb out here and ended up becoming a police officer again. And that sucked. Being a cop sucks. But what that did is, now I've got a little bit more money coming in, and I can afford to prep my meals. I am under no misconception that being able to stay on track with fitness is in the same boat as financial freedom, right? And so I got to a point where I could afford meal prep containers and afford to buy chicken in bulk. And so again, I'm not weighing anything yet. I'm literally making a bunch of chicken, and I'm splitting it up to portion sizes. Right.
I mean, if you have just like the standard things like your chicken, some type of vegetable, some type of whole grain, whatever it is, you don't necessarily need to weigh everything for that, because if you don't get that, what are you going to get instead? You're going to go to probably like fast food or something like that, local. I get people at work asking me about things like weight loss and whatnot. I'm like, one of the easiest things is just prepping your food, even if you're not weighing things out, even if you're not like tracking everything, just making it at home, because a lot of them will come in, and I'm not judging them all. They'll like order some like big cheesesteak type like 12-inch like foot long thing, and I'm just like, hey, that's delicious, don't get me wrong, but like that's a lot of calories. It
is. And so that was what I found moving forward with stuff. And then I started finding things like Liam, like Coach Adam, right, who are telling it's okay to start small. It's okay to prep one meal. It's okay to do meal prep. And so that's when I started changing some of my viewpoints on these things. And not to say that I don't struggle with binge eating still. I still go to therapy for it.
Okay.
But once I started tracking these calories, once I figured out what the fuck is a BMR or a TDEE, right? And then I started absorbing this information, and then I got obsessive about it.
So that can definitely happen.
It was a slippery slope very quickly. And what I haven't talked about on my channel yet, when I intend to, is the social fallout from becoming so
Yeah.
just dialed in on these things where meticulously you're upsetting people, right? When you go to your friend's birthday dinner and you bring your own food, or you go to a cookout with your family and you bring your own food, it hurts people's feelings. And so you feel vindicated in the moment, but it doesn't help relationships, which are more important than calories.
It's really tough to walk that line because you kind of go from this place of like, oh, maybe I don't care, I'll just do whatever, and then you find something that works, and you're just like, okay, I have to do this perfectly, and it's easy to get obsessive about it. And you see that progress, and you want it to keep going, so you're just like, I can't get off track ever, and that's rough.
My training changed so many times as well. You know, I went from being obsessed with being strong, right? I wanted to be the strongest person that I could be. And then I went to, okay, that's over. I want to be as skinny as possible. I want to feel good with my shirt off. I don't, you know, and so when I started restricting those calories, I'm like, okay, I'm doing the research and I'm sitting in front of my computer and it's telling me caloric deficit. Okay, so I look up that, you know, what is a caloric deficit? And then it's like, it's literally the only way you're going to lose weight. And I'm like, okay, so count your fucking calories. That's where that started, was right there. And so I started weighing my food, and I realized the portion sizes, the serving sizes of things are asinine.
So according, I looked this up, according to in America here, because it's in other countries, it's like the serving size will be per like 100 grams, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But here it's supposedly, according to the FDA, supposed to be what an average person would eat in one sitting, which is kind of absurd because, you know, I think they just changed ice cream. It used to be like a third of a cup was a serving, which I'm like, what?
Just use metric already.
So, but even if we use metric, we would still have serving sizes as 2 cookies. Like I'm telling you, we would still do, like, it is, when you start looking at serving sizes, it can get a little sad.
Yeah. And so when I started doing that, I started looking at like one of my favorite foods, Oreos, right? Love Oreos. But then I start looking at like, okay, Oreos are like 53 to 55 calories a piece. Holy cow, right? There's no shot I'm not eating a whole sleeve of Oreos.
Yep.
And then again, I'm coming across stuff with you in it, man, that's talking about like, okay, we don't restrict, we replace. We don't take away, we add to. And so that's when I started doing that. And then, you know, you run into life problems and you end up kind of stumbling into where you're supposed to be. My youngest daughter, she's 5 now, but when she was 3, she had a seizure out of nowhere, right? And freaked me out. I was not medically inclined at the time. She almost passed away due to this medical event. And it turns out that she's got tumors in all of her vital organs and her brain and her heart and all these things that cause these problems. And so at that point in time, I was like, okay, here's the catalyst for change. I need to be as fit as possible. I need to be as smart as possible to keep my kid alive for long. Because if I'm around and I'm smarter and I'm healthier, I can move quicker, then I can do this, right? And so I started actually weighing the food out. I started actually tracking the deficit and, you know, understanding what my body is capable of and changing my training and doing more cardiovascular training just for the purposes of being able to move my body, not to burn the calories. Instead of being so in depth about what I looked like, it was what I could do. And that changed so much for me. It helped my mindset so much. And this is also in conjunction with therapy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a wild ride, but all of that, to be said, that's with that type of training and that consistency came the physique. I chased the physique for so long and I never got it. It was when I changed my mindset as to what I was training for. Right. And so I ended up going to EMT school, and I didn't grow up chasing fire trucks, at all. And my now fiance, I call her my wife, you know, her dad is a fireman, just a fantastic mustache. And we were on a family,
That's
vacation.
That's the number one qualification for firemen is
you
fantastic mustaches.
You have to have it. we were on a family vacation, and he turned to me, and I think he had maybe said like 6 words to me at this point in our relationship, and he's a very gristled man, salt of the earth type, and he turns to me, he's like, "You look like you can carry a couple of people out of a burning building," and I was like, "Maybe." He was like, "Why don't you apply?" And I was like, "Sure," and I did, and I accidentally got hired. That's the way I put it. And I made it through the academy. I tore my shoulder. I tore my knee. I just came off of a knee surgery about 12 weeks ago because of it. And so, but because of the training, right, because of the nutritional choices that I made, my body was able to do that as well. And so now I have this awesome opportunity to not only give back to the community that built me, right, which is the personal trainers and things in this city. I can also be that paramedic or that EMT, that fireman that showed up on my daughter's call and saved her. That guy ate his fucking Wheaties that morning, right? And so I now have an opportunity to do that too. And so now with the social media space, I have an opportunity to be that bridge that gets you over the V-shred thing, right? And into people like Liam, like Rob, like TNF, and over all the bullshittery, right? And that's why, like, I hate the paywall thing, right? With the V-Shred. Like, I'll give you this information, just jump through my 30-second quiz for $75 at $19.99 a month, eat a dick. So, but that's where a lot of the hatred comes from. And it's, that's why I did that Monday video that I posted of like, this is boring, right? To be consistent and successfully consistent, it is boring, right? I didn't talk in that video. The only thing I said was it goes in the bowl. And that was on purpose because I wanted people to see this shit is boring. Like, I'm eating lunch by myself. I'm eating snacks by myself. I'm going on runs by myself. Sometimes it's lonely. It doesn't have to be, but sometimes the decisions you make are going to be hard, right?
I would say, I think being healthy, you know, and just eating overall, it's so tough because like you're talking about like V-Shred, these people, they have a lot of money. Like V-Shred, it's not just him, like it's a whole company like behind him.
Yeah.
And all these people, it's pretty much the same way where they have a lot of money and I'm sure the analytics they have to be ridiculous in terms of like targeting people who are new.
They have an amazing marketing team.
They really do.
They really
they're
do.
like Liquid Death. They got great marketing. They know who to target, and it's really unfortunate because, you know, for those people that are new, you want something exciting, right? Like, don't you want something that's like new and like you want something, you hear something that's like revolutionary that will change your thought process. You're like, that's
the one thing you were missing, the one secret. Yeah,
I know,
secret sauce.
And I get a lot of people ask me that in comments on like DMs. Like, I have this, isn't like, what's the thing I can do? I'm like, I can't. It's tough because it's kind of just overall like similar shit. It's just like, that's why I say like add more of this and that, you know, limit these things, don't eliminate them or you'll drive yourself crazy. It's kind of boring. Like, I understand, I get that.
It's kind of boring. And that's why the broad generalization of count your fucking calories. And that, like, that right there is the baseline. If we understand what a calorie is, right? We understand that 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. And we understand that carbs, the big bad carbs, are also 4 calories for 1 gram. They're not so scary, right? And when people hear that the reason why keto works so quickly is that you lose water weight because, you know, it makes sense, but they don't want to, you know, accept that because they've heard from hundreds of people that they've lost 30 pounds.
Yes. We've gone over this before, where testimonials are far more powerful than anything else. Like, you see, and that's the V-Shred stuff. Like, look at this person, they lost all this weight. That you have an image and an image says 1,000 words, right? Like, you see something, you're like, oh, that I want that. And I see they did that using this. And so I tell people, like, you know, cutting out an entire macronutrient help you lose weight? Probably. I mean, if you cut out all fat, you'd probably lose weight too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, are you going to do that for the rest of your life? It's not so much fun. So yeah, you were saying those, and then, you know, fat has 9 calories per gram. So
Absolutely.
there's, you know, and that's why you have the people like Greg Doucette saying, you know, go low fat, which, you know, what's low fat? You want to make sure you have enough fat to, you know, for proper hormone functioning. Obviously,
Right,
that's
yeah.
important. But,
Yeah.
you know,
So your liver doesn't fall into your ass. Yeah.
like there's bodybuilders, you know, they go on full on prep mode and they've got like 30 grams of fat in their whole day. And like, yeah, that long term isn't going to be ideal
No.
for your health.
No.
But like, you know, so counting your calories, I'd say it's very helpful for some people, and I think it's especially can be really helpful at the beginning. I think it's the most helpful at the beginning when you start counting calories, because that gives you an idea. Like you were saying, when you started off, you didn't even know it. You're just like, oh, food. Like, I don't know, I'll just eat this. But counting your calories for just like a week, because most of us eat the same shit like every day, right? I don't know about you guys, but I eat like the same things over and over. So like you track that, you're like, oh, okay, so I know generally how many calories are in this. And so, you know, I don't know, counting your calories for the rest of your life, some people might enjoy that, but it can be very tedious.
So for me, I have a lot of food anxieties because of my eating disorder, right? And so if I don't know how much is in there, I will tell myself lies. And I'll be like, you know, I'll tell myself, oh, that was way too much. You know, you need to back off. And then I kind of on accident restrict too heavily. So when I count my calories, I'm allowing myself the freedom to eat, right? So instead of being restrictive, it's permissive for me. And that's, again, I found that out through therapy. I gave up calorie counting for a little bit, and I found that I had so much anxiety around food that it was almost debilitating.
It's so interesting because everyone's so different. There are many people that see calorie counting and they start to kind of get worried. I see people, you know, like you do the thing where you like save all your calories. What is it? Calorie banking. You start banking your calories where you're just like, I'm only going to eat one meal at the end of the day and I can pig the fuck out. And I'm like, okay, like that will work
long term though.
Long term, are you gonna? That doesn't sound you. So you're starving most of the day, and then you're stuffed beyond belief at the end of the day.
So
and your sleep is probably shit.
Yeah, you're pissed off all day, and you're cranky, and then you end up with pain. You're just in pain afterwards. And I've done that, right? So like one of my favorite things before I got really heavily into therapy is every year for my birthday, I would go to an all-you-can-eat Brazilian steakhouse. Okay. And I wouldn't eat all day, right?
Yeah, right. You save it up.
And I'd save it up, and then I would eat until I was in pain. I almost made it like a game for myself too, where I'd be like, I wonder how much weight I'm going to gain from this. And so I would weigh myself before and I'd weigh myself after. And but that right there, that helped me as well. Cause I was like, okay, I gained 9 pounds because I ate nothing but fucking steak. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to weigh 6 pounds more than I did before I ate. And then it's going to go away after that because it's not real. Right. Yeah. And so that helped me immensely. And
living by the scale can fuck you.
That's something I brought up in one of my videos is that I used to weigh myself every single day for over 2 years. And that ruined me. I would wake up.
I'm sure when you had a bad day, right? You're just like, fuck, well, this sucks.
Yeah, and it was the first thing in the morning too, because again, I heard this from
you want to make sure you ruin the rest of your day as early as possible.
Immediately. And so I would weigh myself first thing in the morning, and I would stand in front of the mirror while I did it. So with my clients now, if we have a bad body image, we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
You do not stand in front of a mirror, because if you look down and you see a number that you have an expectation for and it's not there, and you look and you're upset about it, you have an emotion about it, you look up, you're going to project that emotion onto that mirror, and we're not going to do that. And so I did that for a long time. Now I haven't weighed myself since I won that fitness competition. And I don't think that the scale matters. I don't. I don't have a metric that I have to live by. I don't have an expectation that I hand
It's very
myself.
freeing. I just have to say, like, not worrying about. I haven't weighed myself in like months, and there was a time I went through. Oh, I weighed myself every single fucking day. Absolutely, I had the little graph, my app on the phone, and as you see it going up or down, and you're just like checking it all the time. I just check it throughout the day. Has it changed? No, I haven't weighed myself. I don't know why I'm checking it.
I zoom out to make sure it's going down.
Let me just make sure. Let me double check. But like, just letting that go and just, it's just like life is, for me, it's too short to be worrying about like all these little things. So I think
worrying makes life shorter.
Yeah. And you just stress yourself out. So like, just implementing these like, add, not restrict, just like add some, more nutritious foods into your diet, have an idea of calories. I think that's a good idea. As far as people ask me all the time, like, oh, how many calories do I need? Like, how do I know exactly? You said BMR earlier, which is your basal metabolic rate. So that's how many calories you burn existing, like if you were just lay in bed and not do anything. And then you have all these other ones. So like your totally daily energy expenditure is all of those things. So it includes like the food you're digesting and how much moving around you're doing, designated exercise, non-designated exercise, everything.
How much you're shouting at people on the internet.
And it can be very just like stressful trying to figure all that out. And there's online calculators that you can plug your numbers into, and they'll give you an idea, like
super generic idea.
Very generic idea. Like I looked it up and it was like, you need 2,800. I'm like, I eat 3,500 to maintain my weight. Like that's just, everybody's gonna be different.
You said something earlier about, counting calories when you begin, right? And that is what most people need for like a week or two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly where I want to be. Is I want to be the gate that pulls people into this, and I give them that beginning knowledge, and I fucking shoot them that way, right? Because I think that I'm
there.
with
Americans and everything being shooting.
Everything. I think you should know that by now. I feel like
my big thing is I think I'm there because the majority of the comments that I get are like, in the bowl, but also like
fallout in the bowl.
Yeah. How do I find out what my calories are? Or what is a macronutrient, right? What do you think about keto? And so being able to take these immediate practices and flip them on their head and be like, here's what actually works. Even if they don't hold on or sustain to counting your calories is the best way to start. So you have that general idea like you were talking about. Yeah. So because again, I didn't open my eyes to any of this until I had a grasp on that. And so that's where this whole idea came from, was like, how should I have started? How can I get people to start?
So when you
don't try to do algebra before you know how to add.
Yes, exactly.
So like when you work with clients, then like what do you have them kind of like, where do you have them kind of start? Do you have them just track calories for like a little while? Like
100%. Yeah. So since my whole brand is count your calories, when I have a client come in and we have a talk, I'm like, okay, run me through. First of all, I do a video call or a face-to-face, like, tell me about you, because you're not just a number on a screen or a line in an email. You're a person,
or a somatotype,
or a somatotype.
I was going to say, got
so, it. And so I get to know these people, and then I'm like, all right, so tell me what your goal is. And almost all the time, it's my goal is, I want to be 185. Okay. Why 185? Well, I feel like that's when I looked my best. Okay, let's cut out the middleman. You don't want to look. You don't want to be 185. You want to look your best, right? So let's focus on that. And so I end up getting really awesome answers from these people. Like, I want to feel good in the shirts that I have that I can't fit.
Yeah,
I want to look good in nice clothes. Okay, great. Let's fucking work on that. And so I'll ask them at that point. Okay, so what does a normal week of eating look like for you?
Right.
And then they're like, well, I don't really know. Okay.
A lot of people haven't really thought about it yet. Yeah.
Like, okay, well, why don't we talk about it? Why don't you go through this next week? Okay. And try to get some steps in. Okay. And if you go to the gym, here's some ideas. Just over the next week, I want you to keep track of some of the food you're eating for me. Right. And if you weigh out your food and you track your calories, bring them to me for this week. Right. So, and then at the next check-in for the week, we talk about it. Because I don't have to shove these people into a gym. I don't have to shove these people onto a food scale, because if we can start slow, then we go longer, right?
Right.
And so a lot of my clients get to a point where they're like, okay, well, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I had 3 of those. I'm like, okay, great. How much peanut butter? I don't know. Okay, let's try to figure that out. And so a lot of them end up counting their calories because it is a consistent way to lose weight. And I also have people who don't want to count their calories.
Right.
And that is totally fine. I tell them, okay, let's work on one meal a day, right? Not eating one meal a day, but let's focus on one meal a day.
And it's only steak, meat. That's it. Now you lose weight. Right. See you later.
Yeah, that's 100% it. Yeah.
That's $100. Thank you very much.
The carnivore diet. Yeah. God, man. But that's how we usually start. And I was telling Rob earlier, I've gotten just this wide variety of clients now where it's, I've got some people that want to lose weight. I have some people that want to max out their Army combat fitness test and go to Ranger school and all this awesome stuff that I now get to be involved in. And so the training varies widely, and so do the calorie needs. And so one of my biggest things about meeting with these clients is I also ask them at the end of the call. That's one of my favorite things to do because it allows me to learn about these people and it gives me an insight to who they are. And it also gets them thinking about who they are. So at the end of the call, I say, hey, give me 3 things that you love about yourself. And they always get 2. They fucking never get 3, right? And so they get to that third one and they're like, oh man, you really put me on the spot here. I'm really stumped. Yeah, I know. All right, next week, you better have that number 3, right? And so by the time we get to number 3, that next week, okay, great. Now let's focus on that one right there because you found that this week. And so I get a chance to not only help these people find their fitness goal, right? Their level of fitness that they strive for, but I also get to help them with their mental health. So one of the things we do on check-ins, like, hey, what was going on with your stress levels this week? You got something weighing on you, you need to get out, right? Or what's going on at work? Is there something that's keeping you from your sleep? Is there anything you need to air out? And I find a lot of the time that confidential conversation alone in their bedroom with the guy that they're probably never going to actually meet in person, that they can just spew it and I can be their punching bag and I can take it and I can shut my laptop and that's the end of it. Right. And I needed that when I started. I needed somewhere to be like, I fucking sucked this week and I hate myself. And I needed somebody to tell me that I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about before, like, going to therapy. It's helpful. It's just to be able to just fucking release and just because we all in life, man, fucking beats you up. You need to be able to just release some stress.
Yep.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And I, by design, I make myself busy. I enjoy being productive. They say there's 2 types of men in this world: men who have a legacy to live up to, and men who have a legacy to build. I feel like I am both the latter. So I am constantly doing something, man.
I feel that,
but I have an amazing support system now. I was burning the candle at both ends, and I was spinning out. But now I have this amazing wife. And I've got awesome friends, and I have a great community around me that has allowed me to kind of be as successful as I currently am. And it's awesome, man. I've really appreciated where I'm at, especially this past week. I'm telling you, it's been crazy. Hey, look, a cat.
This is my support system right here.
Well, you got to introduce the cat now.
This is Pippin.
He's leaving.
Oh, he's climbing on my shoulder anyway.
That's awesome. Yeah. We have a raccoon, a baby raccoon right now, and her name is Nora, from the Fallout 4 wife who got shot in the head. But yeah, man, that's pretty much kind of where I found myself now. Is I want to be that gateway into fitness for people to be like, I want to replace V-Shred, but the right way.
Right, the part of the support system. I mean, we've talked many times on this podcast about how important it is to have some people around you that are supportive. Because if you have constantly have people trying to tear you down, it's going to be a fucking rough time.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's hard, and even still, just getting into the fitness space on TikTok and those first few posts, right, where you're really trying to find your footing and people are like, man, this guy's fucking cringy. or the people in your life that know you personally who watch your videos will poke fun, right? And they're like, you're not that guy. You're not that important. Why do you think people should listen to you? And that stuff can weigh on you, but the thing is, having that support system in the background, you don't just have to have those external voices that are telling you suck. You got the internal one as well. In one of my most recent videos, I said that, hesitation or insecurities can be a catalyst for change or for hesitation. Yeah. Right. And what I meant by that is poking at somebody's insecurities can motivate them. It can be a fantastic motivator.
I was just going to say, like, it's great to have motivation behind you, but also you can use hate for fuel a little bit.
You really can. Yeah. I mean, it worked for me. I got divorced. Now look at me.
I've been divorced as well. This is my wife now. We were both went through a divorce, and then I started social media, and I've gotten so much hate. People fucking hate my guts, and I love it so much. I rock a soul patch just because people hate it, and the hate fuels me. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I have a cat.
I don't know. I promised myself I was never going to get married again. I was like, it's going to take a mythical creature, man. And then I matched on a dating website with a lesbian because she was looking for a workout partner, and I was not.
That's funny.
And it worked out, and she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So that's why, like, I get a lot of comments, obviously, on the videos about the physique, right? And she's very supportive of that. She likes having something she can dangle in front of people, like, look what I have. But no, when I say that, my journey through fitness was rough, but I think it was necessary. I think that all of those nights or those moments alone were like, it's negative talk and it's detrimental, and I'm doing the hours of cardio to pay for the binge that I had. I think that those were necessary because the fractures that caused in who I was built who I am. And now, going from a place of learning from that, I can now teach from. And so that's what I'm trying to do with social media. And I fucking love it because I've had so many awesome creators reach out. I've had so many awesome just messages. My message request box is full on Instagram and TikTok. And I try to get to them. I really do, but I'm so busy. And it's like, hey man, I want you to know, like, one guy, he's a veteran, told me that he had gotten out of the army and that he had moved to be closer to some of his friends, but he still felt alone. And he wanted me to know that my videos are making some people laugh, but they're keeping some people alive. And I fucking cried when I read that. And so, like, that stuff hits you in the chest, and that will keep me
absolutely
posting.
People like send you messages like, you're the first person that has told me, like, it's okay for this, like, it's okay to do this, like, I've always been told this. And I'm just like, I'm happy for them, but I'm also so sad that this is like a video's like, that's the first time that you were told this is okay, is on TikTok.
That's
video.
why at the end of every one of my videos now, I try to have something, right? Something that resonates with me that I can give to other people. And sometimes it comes off as a little heavy-handed. And sometimes I feel a little weird standing in my kitchen giving a motivational speech to myself.
If you're not feeling a little weird on social media, you're not doing it right, though.
But fair. I think I know that it's going to land with somebody, right?
Right, exactly.
And that's what matters. I have a very close friend of mine who I hadn't spoken to in probably 6 years, military. So I can say close friend, but close friend removed. And so he reached out to me, and his name is Dakota, and we served together, and he was very heavy. I was very heavy. We were the fat guys, right?
Right.
And so he moved up north, and I hadn't heard from him in years, but through me making a fitness TikTok or a fitness Instagram page at the time, which was made on a very weird date, I ended up, I got a message from him years after I made that page, and he was like, hey man, I want you to know that I've lost 85 pounds, and it's because you posted this and you started making your meal preps and I started making them. And so this guy was shadowing me for a year and a half, 2 years, and I had no idea.
Right.
And so that right there kept me going, right? And so I still got a lot of hate, right? I still got a lot of people like, hey man, why are you posting this stuff? You seem like you're gonna get shit for it. You need to stop. And I made the decision very quickly that if I stopped because of the people who wanted me to, that they were gonna win. Fuck that. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Those that can't build themselves up tear others down. Like that's what they do, you know. And I'm like, hey, that's fine. Like if you want to make your life about that, awesome. I don't really give a shit.
And the people who made fun of me early on, right? The people who were like, hey, you're just a fat guy. Why are you going to the gym? Or hey, why are you posting this stuff? You don't know what you're talking about. Those people very quickly and very recently have reached out and asked for advice. And it's those moments where I really find out what I'm made of, because there is a moment where I'm like, you know what, mother, absolutely, because everybody has a place in fitness. Absolutely, I'll help you. And it's a humbling experience to know that I've proven to myself that I could do it, and that I'm that guy, and that I wasn't wrong. You know, I wasn't wrong about who I was.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we all get that when you start social media. Like, I was like, man, I'm posting some stuff. This is weird. I don't know. Like, people, it's probably not going to land at all, but fuck it. I'll just throw it out there. And the success I've had on social media, like, far beyond anything I would ever expect. But like, I was just like, I'm just going to do my thing and fucking enjoy it. Like,
my wife is currently in college for social media marketing for sports specifically.
Oh.
Really? Her dream job is to work with the Yankees, but she's a huge Derek Jeter fan. But so whenever I got traction on that first video that you stitched, she was like, "Oh my god, this is going to blow up!" And I was like, "No, it's not. It's not a huge." She was looking at the analytics. She's like, "It's going to blow up." And then I'm not going to lie. Whenever you saved those videos about the pizza, I fangirled, first of all, right? And then I fucking panicked because I was like, I hope he knows that the first video is satire, right? The chicken video. I was like, I hope he understands that. So I sent you a message. I was like, hey, the chicken thing's a satire thing. I was like, fuck, I hope he sees that.
If Liam knows anything, it's satire.
Satire is my first language. Like, yeah, it's
and so I was working at a baseball game as an EMT for my fire department. I was working at an event, and I actually got recognized twice. Two kids separately ran up to me, and one was like, "Are you Scotty K Fitness?" I was like, "Yes." He's like, "What are you doing?" The other one came up and just lat spread it at me, which was fucking so awesome.
That's great.
But I didn't understand what was going on. And it's because you had stitched those videos and I didn't have service on my phone because I was at a baseball game, you know? And so my wife was like, hey, she was like texting me, and I hadn't like gotten my phone back up on the network yet. And so it was really funny because the medic I was working with was also a bodybuilder. And she was sitting in the designated area we were supposed to be in, and she saw this happen back to back, right? And so I had walked over there, and she's like, "What the fuck was that?" And I was like, I honestly, I don't know. Let me find out. And so that's when I found out you had stitched my videos, and then it wasn't loading. Oh, dude, the amount of like pit in my stomach, I was like, no. But it worked out. Yeah, I was grinning ear to ear when that happened. And since then, I've had so many really awesome creators like follow me and reach out and like offer advice and offer, you know, their support to the channel and stuff. And I again, Kylie, my wife, she was like, "Hey, you're probably going to clear 100K this week." And I'm like, "That's never going to happen. That's not going to happen." And it happened. And she was like, "Hey, you're going to hit 150 before, you know, Wednesday." And I was like, no, now we're at 190 and I'm about to shit my pants.
Listen, I've been, you know, I don't know, like it's been like 2 years or something. I've been kind of just messing around with social media, just trying to figure out, like, you know, as much as I can. I still no one fully understands it. You know, you just kind of throw shit out there, but, you know, trying to figure out what works And I'll tell you right from the start, I saw your video. I was like, oh no, that's gonna work. That's 100% gonna work. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's weird. It's out there. People want. It's yelling encouragement. Yelling encouragement helps a lot because people kind of I don't know if I want to say they want to get yelled at, but they've been yelled at in a negative way for so long. Getting yelled at in a positive way is kind of this just reverse bizarro world thing that is enjoyable. And so when you just
is that an American thing?
Yeah,
I'm tempted to say yes. Yeah. And a lot of these fitness people are just kind of like dicks. Like a lot of people in the fitness industry are just kind of assholes. And so, to have someone who's actually, is promoting positivity and try and also being weird and wacky and like fun, like it's 100%.
Well, I wanted to have the contrast of character as well, right? So like this serious mustache guy who's yelling about calories and myths and, pay attention. And the knife hand lands well with the military, portion of TikTok. And so that brings people in, and I try to time the pay attention to about the time that people try to scroll. And so you get this stark contrast of the mustache man, right? The fucking, I'm mad about something. But then it cuts to me being absolutely ridiculous, which is how I am most of the time, right? If you watch my wife posts the behind the scenes footage.
I was watching some of that, yeah.
That's how I am constantly in the kitchen. I am ridiculous. And so the jumping from cut to cut and being on top of the fridge and being on top of the counters and stuff, that's stuff that I do sometimes. But it's just adding into that. So you get that contrast where it's like, man, this guy's really, what the fuck is going on? And it's what you were talking about, is that subverting the expectation. Yeah. I'm getting yelled at, but the guy's being nice to me.
And there's also this weird shit going on. It's entertaining. This is social media. I see a lot of people. I'm like, hey, your information is great, but it's a little slow. It's a little stale. It's a little like people are they're going to keep going. Like you can give good information. Good information and entertaining information are not the same thing. And it's tough to kind of walk that line. And I still try and figure that out. Like I want to do something that's funny, but also people will walk away with something like, oh, I didn't know that. And that will help me going forward. And it's tough.
People don't want to learn. They want to be entertained. And so if you can mix the two, right.
You have to mix like there's you look at like the John Green what's their show called? Like they have a whole SciShow. There's like SciShow Tangents. That's like their podcast, and they have a bunch of other stuff. I forget the name of it, but like it's entertaining and it's fun, and that's where people I think learn the most. And finding that area is fucking tough. I
think I found it again. It wasn't an idea that I had where I was like, I'm gonna go yell at my camera. I was like, I'm gonna make a chicken crust pizza, right? Right. And I'm going to do something satirical where I'm going to say, as a skinny guy, right? And I've posted on my page before about my weight loss transformation and all these things. I'm going to post that, I want pizza, but I don't want to get fat. And that is going to catch some attention. Right.
Right.
And that's going to, it's going to cause a divide. Right. And so then while I'm making it, I started getting angry about all the shit that I heard when I started fitness. And that's why I was angry in that video. And so then that landed and I was like, oh, okay. So maybe now I can do something else that's kind of centric around that. And it's evolved into what it is now. And I look forward to it. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, that. And I put it in my phone, right? Or I'm going on a jog and I come up with an opening line to something. Yeah. I called a restaurant earlier, 4 restaurants earlier, and asked for a hat from their restaurant for a video. I'm picking one up tomorrow morning. I love it. I get so excited about this stuff because I get a chance to be ridiculous and be myself, and then take that and then add it to the fitness world.
And I will tell you that right there is what it is. It's just like throwing yourself out there and just being honest with who you are, because there's so much fucking fake shit out there. The V shreds, like we talk about so much, that is a character that is put out there, and that people are just like, I just want somebody who's just like fucking real. And like, I'm, you see me, I make like recipes all the time. I'm like, this did not turn out well. Like I did what, and people are like, I appreciate that because I tried this shit and it doesn't work. And so seeing somebody else.
I made protein bars, right? And I started the video with like, we're going to make low calorie, high protein bars, right? And then they ended up not being low calorie or high protein. And they were horrible. And so I was like, the macros kind of suck on these. 4 out of 10. I would not. They're still in the freezer. I haven't thrown them away or eaten them. They're still there.
Well, now you have food for the raccoon.
Yeah, food for the raccoon, 100%. And then like I'm doing the reviews on products, right? Which I don't necessarily enjoy doing. But I wanted to try my hand at it. And so I got these creatine gummies in the mail, right?
Oh God, the creatine gummies. Yeah.
I'm not even going to feature them on the camera. They're right here though. So I got these creatine gummies in the mail and I was like, all right, I'm going to make a very fast video, right? Because you don't have to make them long. And so I wanted to keep it along with my original content. And so I was like, hey, some TikTok company sent me some free shit in the mail. And so I threw it, and so let's see if it sucks. And it sucked. And so I told everybody, don't buy this. And then I ended the video, right? And then I made another video subsequently immediately and was like, hey, I just made a product video for this. I have to leave it up for 3 days or they're going to charge me for this product and I'm not paying for this garbage. Don't fucking buy it. And so that video there got more views. It was like a 12-second clip that got more views than the original product video did.
I'm sure. Yeah.
The really dumb thing is that people still bought that product from my showcase. And I'm like, I literally told you not to. This morning, my wife sent me a screenshot of that company's showcase, and the video that I made is at the top of their page, and they're featuring it. They haven't watched it, but they featured it due to how much money it's made them, which hurts my heart a little bit, but it is a stupid thing. And so that's what I'm trying to do in my product videos as well, is be over the top and genuine and honest. And I would love it for a chance to work with Echovision, right? Because I love their products. And so when I got,
I'm sure you'll get there. Like you'll absolutely be able to get the option.
When I worked with Echovision on their t-shirt, they sent me a t-shirt and I was like, I'm in the middle of a workout right now, but another company sent me some free shit. Right. And so I rip open the bag and I'm like, let's check the quality. And I'm like biting it and like all kinds of stuff. And then I threw it on and I genuinely enjoyed that shirt. I wore it to the date night that night that the wife and I had. It was a great shirt. It had a bite mark in it, but it was awesome. And so like, it's just trying to be as genuine as I can, because the consistency of character, I think, comes across to a lot of people. And that's my main thing is whenever I was starting out, again, coming through that gateway into fitness, you find all the fake people, you find all the contradictory information like Jeff Cavalier, Athlete X. This is what's killing your gains. Eat a dick.
Jeff Cavalier, like I find a lot of his information is kind of grounded and not terrible, but since he's got this huge following and he has all these people he has to pay because he's got a huge team, he has to make these videos that are like, this is the worst, blah blah blah, and it's clickbaity stuff, like they have to do it in order to get their views and make their money.
Well, and the thing is, I'm not much of a salesman. Right. That's
hell no.
I think that's where I'm going to run into my biggest problem with social media is I do not push a product. I do not like sales. And so like
I hate it so much.
Working with the company like Echovision, you're never going to find me like putting a product on something that spins in the middle of my camera. Like, hey guys, check this out. It's 20% off.
Use code. I can't force myself to say the word use code Liam to save 10%. Like I hate all of that. I hate even saying it as like a joke. Yeah. I can't.
I mean, and like I would make fun of it, like making like on lives, I would make fun of that where I'd be like, all right, guys, welcome back to the stream. Like, just being that character, because that person, that character has been overplayed and remodeled millions of times. And so
that's why when someone comes along and they're like, this product is shit, people are like, I like you because you're honest.
It landed with a lot of people. And so that's who I want to be. And so I get, like, on average right now, it's like dozens or maybe 100 like product like showcase where it's like, hey, try this bra. Like, did you actually look?
All sorts of shit. Yeah.
And so like, but sometimes I'll come across one where I'm like, I might use that, but I don't need it. So I'm not going to get that product and then try to tell people to buy that shit. So like I grabbed a food scale off of the TikTok shop, right? And that came in the mail, and I tried to use it for making lunch one day, and it was ass. Like, it sucked. And it was it weighed out my chicken at like 7.8 grams or something to that point, or ounces. And then I put it on my handy dandy food scale that I've used for years, and that one was like, no, it's actually 6.9. And I was like, okay, well, that's never steered me wrong. Fuck this thing. And so I took it out of my showcase, and I told everybody, don't buy this product. And so that's what I want to do if I do any type of showcase stuff. Is I can't be a salesman, but I know that companies like Echo Vision or like Rise or all these other companies, they need you to perform at a specific monetary level, because obviously it's a business, right? Why wouldn't they need that? But I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think that that's something that's in my repertoire.
No,
it's okay.
French word.
It's okay. We'll send you some shirts to bite through.
Oh, deal. I'll bite your shirts.
Oh, yeah, man. Social media is just a crazy place.
It's been really cool too. I've gotten, like I said, I've gotten some really cool traction, and being able to speak with some of my favorite creators like you guys is absolutely insane. Because like I said, like, you guys were part of the trajectory for me, right? And your authenticity fed into my authenticity, right?
And I think that's the goal is, as a creator, is just be like, we can just keep going over it, the same thing, beating a dead horse. But like, man, I'm just gonna be real with you, and fuck it. Like, if you like it, awesome. If not, that's totally cool. Have a good day. Peace out. Yes, I'm promoting fucking seed oils and Red 40. Have a good one, everybody.
Yep. That's why I started linking some of the research in my bio for the fitness myths that I threw out, right? Because you get the liver kings. They're like, actually, your body runs on lipids and fats and triglycerides. Okay, all right, buddy.
And you're going to get a lot of that going forward. So I think, either ignore it or use it for more content. That is the way. Don't, like, what I found is, like, spending a bunch of time, my own time, arguing with these people. Fuck that. I'm not going to do that. But I will take their comment and read it for another video. Hey, you're going to give me free content, and you're going to, boost the algorithm. Like, that's fucking phenomenal. Thanks, bud. Please keep watching and hating. Yep.
That's awesome. And we also made merch, which was cool, right? The Count Your Calories merch. And I got a little vault boy with a mustache, right?
Nice.
And the hat that I wear. And that's done really well. I had somebody buy a 5X shirt, which tells me that somebody started their fucking journey. Yeah. And I was like, yes, dude, I love that. I mean, I'm smiling more because of these things than I have in a long time. And I think that's where I'm at. And I'm elated is the best way I can
create
put it.
that place of positivity and just fuck and enjoy it. And,
I think the only divisive thing I've done is that first video with the cupcake, right? The, Happy Pride Month, and I shoved the whole thing in my mouth. Oh, that made people mad.
That'll do it.
That made people mad.
I've built up enough of a following where it's pretty much just support, and I can like do shit like that. But like when you're where you're at, you've got your following's growing, but still early on enough that you're going to get a lot of fucking hate for that sort of shit.
And so I haven't done anything like that since, right? Because I want the algorithm to continue, but I do support LGBTQ plus communities and the trans communities and all these things. In that video, I posted it, and it started gaining traction, and it started going and going and going. And then I found myself for hours in the comment sections. just
Oh,
refreshing, and not arguing with anybody because I God knows I don't have time for that. I was just deleting the hate messages that made it through the filter. And so, because if somebody went into that comment section and they felt excluded in that moment and not defended, I would have felt horrible. And so I spent hours until all of them were gone and I didn't get any more. I was awake for way too long that night.
Damn.
And so then once they were all gone, dude, that video took off and I gained a client from that I've got an LGBTQ plus client who reached out to me because she felt included because of that video. And so that made it worth it for me. And so more than often, I didn't delete all of them. If there was one guy that was like, you lost me at the end there, or you lost me with I would just send a bunch of rainbows.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I send kissy faces and rainbows typically. Yeah. But what I will do, what I found is I just say like before the video ends, oh, if you're going to say something about this, get fucked. And then if somebody comments that, I just write get fucked. And people are like, I can't believe you took this to the comment section. And they're just like,
then
as
they just
people
get
pile on.
flamed.
They get flamed. And I'm like, I enjoy this. This is fun. Fuck this guy.
So I just got tired of dealing with the comments altogether, so I just got the flag, and it's just a blatant statement right there in every video.
So I actually did one of those things that you just talked about, where it was like setting the expectation for the comment section was the chemicals.
I included that. Oh, don't worry, I included that in my video that I will be posting. I have to just start off with that because I know you're going to say some bullshit about food dye of artificial sweetener or whatever it is. Like I got a bunch of good hate comments from one video where I was just like, hey, Mountain Dew Code Red's cool, and people are like, I can't believe you're promoting Mountain Dew. Oh my god, all the dyes and this. I was like, oh, thank you. I'll take that one. I'll take this one. I'll take all these. It's great.
Yep. I did realize that when I started talking about macronutrients and things like that there are people with, diabetes or celiac or things like that. And so in those videos where I'm talking about those things, I try to remember to end those videos with, hey, medical exemptions apply, right?
Right.
And
that's good.
I have a Fitness Myths 3 that I have written out that I need to film, but the second video of Fitness Myths I ended with, it's not that complicated. You're not special. Your body's not different. Medical exemptions apply. And so I had a lot of comments out of that when there was like, thank you for saying medical exemptions apply, or thank you for telling me that I'm not special because my body still works under thermodynamics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's tough to walk that line where you talk to people where you're like, yes, absolutely. Like these medical conditions, insulin resistance, all of these things can make weight loss so much more difficult. But at the end of the day, it is still, energy balance. Yeah. If you burn more energy, your body has to lose fat or you'll die. Like those are the two options. Your body burns fat or you die. These are the two options. It's going to pick.
I'm trying so hard to come up with a video concept that's not incredibly long or incredibly wordy that explains why carbohydrates are required for adenosine triphosphate, right? And why that has to happen in the Krebs cycle with oxygen and why these things are needed. But I can't figure out how to do it without sounding like a Hank Green video without the production value behind me.
But I will tell you, and that's a tough thing, though. I will tell you that's going to be difficult because I find on social media, the more specific you get, the less views it'll generally get because, people, the more general, a lot of my videos are very general just because it reaches a larger audience. If I go into here's everything about iron, it's not going to really hit very well,
Yeah, and there's something to be said about it. Like if it's something that is a marketable product, I've seen a lot of guys go through magnesium, L-threonine or whatever, and that's great. But that's not something that I'm going to do. I want that broad generalization of like, hey, this applies to everybody. But it is very specific information that's hard to push. That's why, I think the Fallout thing is working really well for me because there's a ton of people that fucking love Fallout.
It is.
And I've got hey, that t-shirt from the Crumble Cookie video is a one-of-a-kind t-shirt. You will not find that anywhere else. That is a one-for-one. And so I am happy to say that I've bought more Fallout shit that is going to be featured in videos soon. I'm working with a videographer here locally to actually do like an actual like Fallout-esque vault vibe thing.
Nice. I like
I've
it.
got so many ideas, man, that I'm really excited about. And a lot of them are food based. If you told me like 2 years ago I was going to gain any type of popularity on social media because of cooking, I'd have laughed at you. Because when the wife and I got together, I was eating like boiled chicken and broccoli and salt and pepper on everything. But, you know,
At least you
again,
use salt and pepper.
yeah. Well, now, I mean, that's why in a lot of my videos as well, when I'm cooking, I'm like, season your fucking food. Like, one of my rules for myself is if it only takes one trip to take my seasonings back to the pantry, I fucking did it wrong.
I like that.
Like, and you know, good food doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be expensive. That's something that I really loved about your channel early on, was like, oh, I've got to buy all this organic, you know,
the grass-fed, pasture-raised bullshit.
Fucked. Yes,
Get
man.
fucked. I don't care. I'm just going to eat whatever's cheap. Fuck
That's exactly it. And so somebody on my live a couple of nights ago asked for a cheap man's protein haul. And I'm like, yes, I wrote that down on my mirror in the garage. I'm going to do that video. I'm going to run into a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General. I'm going to find some stuff that is going to cost 25 cents to make a meal for a family. Because I feel like that's going to
get the comments like, it would be cheaper at Walmart. It would be cheaper if you got it here. And you're like, listen, fucker, I'm trying to help out. You don't have to be a dick about it.
Yeah. I have found myself in going grocery shopping much more recently, which has been awesome. So yeah, man, that's kind of, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but that's the stuff
that's the podcast in a nutshell.
That's literally just our podcast, is just chatting about fucking nonsense and whatever upsets us or makes us feel better.
Okay, well then let me get this out. I went to GNC to pick up some protein for a recipe to bake with last week, and there's some doucher at the counter, right? And I walk in, he's like, "What's up, boss?" I'm like, "Okay, he's one of those guys." And so I'm walking through the protein bars because they, you know, Bearbell has some new protein bars in there. And I don't like going to GNC because I always try to upcharge you. But again, I'm not a salesman. I don't like salesmen. So I'm walking towards the protein bars and I overhear him talking to a woman at the counter. And she is very clearly a soccer mom. She's wearing athletic gear and she's wanting to get healthier. She's like, "How do I lose weight?" And he goes, "Oh, do you like water?" "What the fuck did you just say?" And he was like, "Okay, so if you take a lemon, okay, and you squeeze it into the water, okay, and you drink that all day, I'm talking all day, you're going to blast 12 pounds off your body. Do you like cucumber? Add it in there for flavor." The fuck did you just say? And I wanted to come across the counter and knock him upside his head, but I was in my work uniform, so I couldn't do that. And then I wanted to follow this lady outside and shake her. Be like, "No," but he followed her outside, so I couldn't do that either. And I was like, it broke my heart because I was like, this lady is going to go drink a bunch of unsweetened lemonade cucumber water and then piss a whole bunch and then wonder why she's not losing weight.
And then when she comes back, he's going to upsell her on creatine for women.
Yep. Wait until I get my hands on that. My wife wants me to do a product review on creatine for women.
That's so fucking good.
It's so stupid. But then the guy comes back in and he's like, "What are you looking for, boss?" And I was like, "I got it, man." And he walks up and he's like, "Well, let me tell you about this." And I was like, "I know more than you." And he was like, "Okay." And he walked off. So I had a very Ron Swanson moment in a Home Depot. I was very, very proud of that. But yeah, that I was like, how can I make that into a video? But I feel like it needs to be kind of centric to what I'm doing.
I think that a lot of times these things, they might actually work because maybe someone is drinking calories and they swap that out, you know, for like water, and then they start losing weight and they're like, "Oh, it's the lemon water that worked this whole time." And you're just like, "Ah, fuck."
Yeah, if somebody could just explain in a much finer detail that, hey, it's not the lemon water, it's the fact that you didn't slam a 12 pack of Dr. Pepper today.
Instead of that big juice, you had some water.
Yeah. And so whenever I get a chance to talk to people about this, I end up going on these rants. Like in the Army, I taught a lot of classes. I would teach like land navigation. I would teach like tactical combat casualty care, like life-saving care. And then I would turn around, like I'd be in the middle of that class, like, all right, so if you get a gunshot wound to your arm, and this is what we're going to do. And like 3 hours later, I'm like, and that's why we count our calories, because it's important. Like, and so I'd go down these rabbit. It was always land back here, because so many people are ignorant to this stuff. And
it was also like the 6th reference to shooting this episode.
Yes.
You Americans.
Yes. Well,
also we got a guy that was at the military and then police and then security and then
that is fair. Yeah.
It was very, very middle of my life for a long time. When I got on the fire department, they were like, "You spent your entire life in a badge and in a gun belt. Why fire?" And I was like, solid question. Maybe I'm tired of doing it. Yeah, no.
So I'm gonna go do social media instead and lie on the floor. It'll work. Yeah. Don't worry. Trust me.
It'll work. Trust. But no, doing both has been crazy. And then I'm trying to get, some content filmed while I'm doing this stuff, which is why I did that Monday video again. Like, hey, you can do fitness. You can do this the right way. And it's really boring, and you have to fit it into your life. What I tell a lot of my clients is not to make your life revolve around fitness, but fitness fit into your life. Right.
Exactly.
And so, I enjoy running because it's something that I was never good at, and now I'm kind of good at it. And so on my lunch breaks, I like to go on a run or I walk to help with digestion or whatever. And so doing that is good for my mental health. But I'm not sprinting. I'm just getting in a couple of miles. And so, I try to showcase that as well. Through those types of videos. And then of course, like, I'm going to coach and I'm cleaning up the gym and I'm making my meal for the next day, and God, it's boring. And it takes monotony.
Yep. It really does.
All right. You guys are going to have to just give me a second here. I'm about to piss my pants.
We'll finish up.
I'm keeping that in.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
If you guys ever need somebody to fucking ramble, I'm your guy.
It's like, that's why our episode. I'm here. That's why our episodes are already pretty long.
No, you and Liam in a room, it'll just go on forever.
I'm talking about
probably
shit that pisses us off.
Yeah, I get riled up, man, and like it's really common in like the fire department as well. As you get these guys that are like in their early 40s that are like, I want to get back to what I was when I was in high school. Yeah. And then they do the restrictive, like, calorie count, like not restricting calories, but they restrict meals and they restrict points, right? Like, oh, I can have one piece of chocolate and that's 4 points. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh yeah, no, that's like Weight Watchers stuff. I think like Weight Watchers stuff. They basically replace calories with points. People ask me Weight Watchers. I'm like, if you don't like calories and you like points instead, hey, that's fucking, it's the same shit.
It's the same shit. It's just extra steps. It's extra math, and I'm bad at math.
Like if you,
I have a calculator on my phone for weights. I can't do math in the gym. It's called Plate Calculator. Legit, it's got pictures of the weights, 45 to, I just put it on there.
That's fine. I don't track anything. I just go in there, like I lift, I make sure I push myself hard enough so that, maybe 1 rep in reserve, maybe 0, and then just fucking rinse or repeat that shit.
Yeah. I've been on the same split for 4 years now. And that's something else that I tell a lot of people is like, hey, if you find something that works, stick with it.
Exactly.
Changing your exercise selection all of the time is a horrible idea. I've been on the same split. But you got to
confuse the muscle. You got to confuse the muscle.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go to do squats and then I'll curl in the squat rack instead.
Confuse the muscle and piss off the rest of the gym. That's how you do it.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, I've been on a 4-day split for almost 4 years now. It gives me adequate rest and I push myself really hard. So, and
again, it's boring. You just find the boring shit that works. So like I do like push-pull legs and I do the same things like over and over and I don't go crazy, and it's simple. Yep. Fucking simple.
One of my favorite quotes is 90% of success is doing the obvious thing for an extraordinary amount of time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I 100% agree with that.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the rating, by the way, on the video you did of my mustache and my split. Yeah.
I was like, how can I rate? How can I like? Because I was like, the pizza is like, it's fine, but like, how can I rate other shit that's stupid and makes people, you know?
Whenever I started making the videos, I was like, what am I good at that I can like not a lot of other people are. Like, okay, now I'm kind of good at cooking and I'm really good at counting calories and macronutrients. And I am good at yelling and I can do the splits. And genes. I found genes that can withstand the splits. So
and you're exceptionally good at growing a mustache.
The mustache is a relatively new feature as well. Whenever I decided to get into... Oh yeah, I didn't always have a mustache. It's been like maybe a year now, but I had a full beard when I was a contractor in Afghanistan. But I'll send you a picture of that. It's ridiculous. I look like a different person. But the mustache is new to me in the past year, and now I'll never be able to get rid of it, is what my neighbor told me. He's like, it's part of the brand now. You got to keep it.
Yeah. You'll make you cry if you shave it.
Bob Ross did.
Bob Ross. Yeah. Once he had the perm, he didn't even. Did you know he hated the perm? He never wanted the. He did that because he was broke, and that was like the cheapest thing. And then, like after he started making videos, he wanted to get rid of it, and they're like, no, that's you. You have to keep that, and he was forced.
It's kind of like your soul patch.
Gotta keep soul patching. It makes people angry though, so I will always keep it.
Well, somebody in one of my comments said that the mustache looks like a silhouette of my shoulders, and now I can't unsee it.
That's great. That's great.
That's great.
Like, that's beautiful.
Work that into a video. Do something like that. Like, fuck it, man. Just enjoy.
I'm going to work in some of my imitations or my imitations of people into my videos, because I do a good Trump and I do a good Hank Hill.
No, I'm telling you, do the Trump one. Do the whole video like Trump, just like
the whole video.
Do the whole fucking. I'm telling you, it would do well. Listen. I've been doing social media for a little while now. I promise you, and you don't have to make it super like political like this or that.
No, I wouldn't. It would be just over the top. It would just be.
Okay, give us a sample of Trump telling Liam how to lose weight.
Okay. Some people are saying that you only eat one time a day. Okay, that's probably true, but I know a lot of fat people, beautiful fat people.
I'm telling you, do a whole video like that. Start it off with that. I mean, it'll 1 million views by the end of the day.
Dude, the crumble cookie video hit 1 million in 25 hours. Yeah. I was blown away by that. And everybody kept tagging the Trin twins. I had to look up who those people were.
I know them. Yeah, I know the Trin twins.
I have not watched any of their stuff. I recognize.
Why were they tagging them? Was you make a reference or something?
Nope. Not even on accident. Apparently, they are in love with Crumble Cookie, and they are on a cut currently, collectively, and so they cannot have Crumble Cookie.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, that video did insanely well. I got a lot of good ideas out of it. And then I've got another video, like I said, planned for this weekend. One of the content creators that followed me and reached out and gave me a bunch of advice was really cool. I do volume eating as well. Like the guys at the fire station will take over/under bets as to how much I'm going to eat. Because I eat very quickly and I eat a lot of food. So I've done a couple of food challenges, and I'm going to do one. I actually have it up on my story right now on TikTok. People are voting on, and I'm not calling it a cheat meal because I don't like that term.
I don't like that term. Not a huge fan.
We're calling it an off-plan meal, right? And so I'm going to have an off-plan meal. Am I having a fuck ton of McDonald's or a fuck ton of cookies? And everybody so far is voting McDonald's.
I would have thought cookies. That's funny.
Right.
Well, I guess McDonald's big. Yeah, I would have guessed cookies though. Still, that's interesting.
So, and that was one of the recommendations from this guy that reached out to me because he did a similar video, and he was like, "Do you think you can beat my time? I ate all this food in probably like 15 minutes." And I was like, "Oh, for fucking sure, dude."
That's great.
My like I said, my firehouse. Whenever one of my first times eating out there, because firemen, you cook 3 times a day or 2 times a day. Usually people have their breakfast, they come in, you go to the store together, you get stuff for lunch and dinner. There's like this unwritten rule in the fire service that every man has to have 1.5 pounds worth of food on their plate, which is wild.
Love it.
But nobody counts calories. If you do, they're like, why are you being a liberal?
Okay.
So we made one guy was like, hey, let's make tuna salad sandwiches or tuna sandwiches. And they're like, great. Well, tuna sandwiches for me do not require chewing. So if I take a bite, that's sliding down the gullet.
Especially add a little extra mayo, you're good. Solid.
Good. That's the same thing as peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. If I'm intentionally trying to pack on fat, I'm shoving like 5 of those. But I had the tuna sandwiches. I had like 7 or 9 tuna sandwiches, and they were like, holy crap, now they're trying to get me to do conies.
How many hot dogs can you? I mean, the record right now for Joey Chestnut, I think 70. You could probably.
Oh yeah, rivaled easily. No, one of my favorite things to do when I was in Afghanistan, I was trying to lose weight. I would have a cheat meal, right? And I called it a cheat meal. Then I had this negative perspective on food and why I had to have it. And I would get every Thursday. They had in the American dining facility, they had hot wings, and I would just go get a clamshell fucking full of hot wings. And I would go back to the machine gun tower or the nest we were in, and I'd sit there and I'd prop my phone up and I would watch My 600-Pound Life, or I would watch Eric the Electric, right? And I'm like, look, if he can do it, I can do it. Or I'd watch My 600-Pound Life and be like, look, I'm not that, And it was just this negative. Yeah. It was just a negative thing that I did, but yeah. So when I was in EMT school, I did something similar because I was going to EMT school like 4 nights a week, and it was like an hour drive both ways. And so I would get home and I would have 35 hot wings 4 nights a week because I can eat. So I'm going to start doing some of that content and obviously fitting it into my calories and, not banking my calories per se, but not doing that as often as some people do while they're doing like ultra marathons. Right. So, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. Just to be able to show people, hey, you can eat food and still have the physique that you want. You can, or the body type.
I mean, I even get that with so many things.
Thumbnail.
I get people like saying that about potatoes a lot. Like, wait, I can eat potatoes and lose. And of all things, like potatoes are like the least of your concerns.
Yeah, so that's what I go on a rant every time somebody was like, carbs are bad for you. I'm like, okay, great. Let's talk about this. So you got polysaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, right? And so we go through it, and some people are like, well, I try to have something that's very protein forward before I go to the gym. Like, great, you're gonna have a stomach cramp. Like,
people think protein is fuel, and I have to be like, well, okay, so protein's good for like repairing. Okay. Yeah. Fat is fuel, but that's going to be more long term, whereas carbs are like right now I need it. So like I'm going to have a banana or a Rice Krispie treat before I go to the gym.
Because you have to have the simple sugars that release quickly, right? That are absorbed quickly. I say release, absorbed quickly, right? And so like the way that I tell my clients is like, have a Pop-Tart, right? Or drink some milk or something, but don't eat a potato. But and a lot of people, they don't know that stuff. But man, I appreciate you guys having me on the podcast.
It's nice to have somebody else who can rant for a long time too, because normally I'm the only one doing it. So fuck V-Shred. Count your calories if you like it. If not, just focus on whole nutrient dense foods. That generally does the trick, as well. Just keep it simple and do the mundane shit. I know it's boring, but kind of has to be done.
Yeah, there's no one piece you're missing. There is no one trick that somebody can sell you. It is the scientifically backed method of thermodynamics. You are not going to change it.
It's not this. I was going to say it's not this. What was it? What's V-Shred's thing? The Harvard found a loophole, a fat loss loophole.
Yeah.
That's after the pizza versus the salad video. That's probably my favorite. And then the pizza salad video where it's like Harvard found this fat loss loophole and that's going to revolutionize everything. And also we're selling it in a bottle.
Yeah. Those are my favorite.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Rob, you look like you had something.
What's
I
up?
was gonna say, and America, how about we turn down the guns a little bit?
Oh man, as a Canadian saying that, you're going
Sorry,
to ruffle
let me just
feathers.
shoot that idea down a little bit. So, Scotty, where can we find you?
Man, yeah, you guys can find me on TikTok as Scotty K Fitness, as well as Instagram and on X or Twitter, as it were. That's a relatively new account. I don't understand Twitter, but trying to get as much information out there as I can about these things to help people start. So Scotty K Fitness on all those platforms. You can also follow my Strava and see, you know, I get a lot of people ask, how often do you do cardio? How hard are you running? What are your heart zones? You know, and why? So follow me there. If you guys end up on my link tree, there's a lot of cool stuff on there for research based, myth busting, as well as a video that explains as to why V-Shred is a giant piece of shit. So watch that.
Love it.
Yeah.
50% of this was V-Shred sucks.
Yeah,
which is
it's
perfect.
warranted. It's very warranted.
All
It's
right.
just, I mean, it says a lot that he's like the biggest name in the fitness industry.
Oh,
Sadly. One of my favorite things about the comment section on some of my videos is like, what doesn't go in the bowl? I'm like, V-Shred. Does not belong in the bowl. I did not think that the coined phrase that I was going to run into was in the bowl either.
You find just random shit that works. Like I remember I said, what was it like? You know, for all the people who talk about chemicals, I was like, "Here's a banana, calm the fuck down," and people were like, "I love that and need that on a shirt." And I was like, "Really? Here's a banana, calm the fuck down."
I used one of your sayings in the Fitness Myths video number 3 that I haven't filmed yet, and it's about detoxifying, right? If you want to detoxify your body, try having a fucking liver and kidneys.
Try have a liver and kidneys. There you go. Yeah, like the fucking the detoxes. That's a different. Yeah. That's almost kind of a different side of social media. That's not like the fitness side. There's a lot of like the detox is kind of, I don't know. Like there's the parasite detox, which is kind of maybe a little bit more specific, but detoxes are just kind of their own thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
very weird.
Yeah. I agree, and there's a lot of stuff out there that is easy to debunk, but it's not easy to get people to hear it. You know, that's the shit that I run into, because you got that, and you've got the sitting in a sauna for hours, or
the red light therapy
suit.
now is a big thing. You know, I saw what somebody posted about one of those plates, those power plates that just vibrate.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite things, because it reminds me of like the old timey, like shake the fat off. Those things just like, and I'm like, I love that idea, because if you know nothing about like calories or fitness or anything, like the idea like, oh, you just shake it and it kind of goes away. Yeah, sure. You get people to believe that.
Yep. One of the things that I really have been enjoying about like the keto diets, right? When I try to explain to people like, hey, your body has to utilize these things, and that's when I get really wordy with the content, where I'm like, or my responses where I'm like, hey, so the process of creating glucose from non-glucose sources has a byproduct that is an acid that over time is very damaging to your system, and it can cause all these problems, and you can become acidotic metabolically and will affect your respiratory system. It can lead to injury or death and necrosis of your liver. And people are like, I like your funny words, Magic Man. And it doesn't land with anybody. So it turns into keto bad.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, honestly, though. I mean, you got to keep it just simple. Like the more in depth I go, the less views it'll get, the less traction it gets. So like, I just like, keep that shit basic.
Man, all right.
Gotta go put on a caveman outfit and get one a club and just keto bad.
Well, I mean, honestly, like we're going back to caveman, right? What about all these people?
Yes.
You got liver kings and stuff eating bull testicles and shit. Like, you're just keeping that shit. They keep it as simple as possible. So
raw, even, yeah.
Gosh,
but man, seriously, it was an immediate bucket list thing to be on this podcast. I was going to tell you guys, I've listened to this podcast since I found it, and I have listened to it while running. I have listened to it while cooking. I have listened to it while eating, or working out, and I've listened on good days and bad days. And
now you'll get to listen to it while listening to yourself.
You get to listen. Yeah. I'm just happy if people are listening to it, because I'm like, I don't really know if people listen.
Oh man, it's been great. One of your things that you said recently in one of your episodes was if you're worried about 10 calories, I got a real good friend named Ed I want you to meet. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. Okay. And that helped me because there's times where I get OCD. I get neurotic about these things.
I remember my times where I'm like, wait, hold on. These 0 calorie screeners don't actually have 0 calories. So let me try and find out how much they actually have and count that in. Like, fuck that shit.
Fuck that. There was a time where people were like, hey, do you want a piece of gum? I'm like, it doesn't fit my macros.
5 calories. That's 5 calories, man. Oh, I know. I know how many calories are going to stick a gum. That shit it's not fun.
It's gonna throw me off my goals, man. 5 calories. And so listening to your guys' podcast, it's definitely been something that's helped my success. So being able to come out here and just talk to,
I'm telling you, listen, keep doing your fucking content that you've been doing. Keep it weird, keep it strange right off the bat, and it'll grow. Like it's going to. There's only one way it's gonna go. You know,
I will keep the stash.
Hey, wasn't that a great time? Listen to the podcast. You were just, I'm assuming you were just listening to In Moderation. So if you go ahead and hit the 5-star button, is that a thing? The like button?
That's a thing. Yep.
No, like button
5
on YouTube.
stars.
If you're on YouTube, hit the like button, not the dislike button. That's a bad button. The
Bad
like button. Bad
Don't
button.
touch.
Hit all the other buttons. The share. You can go check out
all those things.
Subscribe. Go check out our Patreon. Yeah. We do have a Patreon. It's free to join if you want, or you could give us some money. That'd be really cool, like $1 or $2. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have. That's
where you'll find all the news for this.
We're super appreciative. You can find all sorts of other stuff there. We do giveaways. I think sometimes.
Sometimes.
All that good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, peace.